First of the semi-final deciders pitched Francesco Bruni and Azzurra against Ben Ainslie helming Team Origin. The boats even off the start line, punching into a nice northerly breeze. The status quo continued all the way up the first beat, the light Mediterranean conditions of 8 to 10 knots clearly suiting the Italians on Azzurra, who were cleverly working their way up the left-hand side of the course. At the first cross, Ben Ainslie found himself on the back foot with Bruni in control, bouncing him back towards the right, which should have been to his advantage. There had to be a confrontation, and it came at the top mark as expected. Again, Bruni had the edge as the pair engaged in a luffing match. The Italian stalled the British before Bruni made his move and bore away to establish a valuable and decisive buffer between the two teams. As happens so often in light airs, the rich got richer, Azzurra simply pulling away from Origin, the margin between the boats increasing at every mark. Powering downwind towards the finish, Francesco Bruni could almost relax, and as the Italians crossed the line, their delight at having reached the final of the Louis Vuitton trophy could hardly have been more obvious. Azzurra's opponents in the final would emerge from the battle between Emirates Team New Zealand and the Russian Synergy team, a duel given an extra edge by the race committee, which had rendered both boats level on points after a collision in their second semi-final. A split-tack start saw the boats even off the line, but crucially Emirates Team New Zealand had the favoured right-hand side of the track. All the way up the beat, the advantage line swung between the two boats, but only by a couple of metres. The tension was palpable as both teams looked to eke out a significant gain or force a crucial mistake from their opposition. Neither was forthcoming until the top mark, where Emirates Team New Zealand seized a match-winning opportunity by forcing a penalty on the Russians for failing to keep clear. The move had slowed both boats right down, and it was the Kiwis who managed to accelerate away quickest. With the added comfort of Synergy carrying a penalty, the afterguard on Emirates Team New Zealand set about increasing the gap between the boats, and they succeeded. The lead grew and grew as Dean Barker drove the Kiwis into the final of the Louis Vuitton trophy through merit rather than the racing rules. So too the petite final Team Origin from Britain squaring off against the Russians on Synergy, both smarting at their semi-final defeats. With triple Olympic gold medalist Ben Ainslie at the helm of Origin, the British team had been one of the favourites to win this regatta, and their determination to at least salvage third place was evident on the first beat as Ainslie protected the right and covered Synergy's tacking duel. At the top mark, the British led comfortably, hoisted their Jenica and set off down the left-hand side of the course in a gentle but fading breeze. Karol Jablonski at the helm of Synergy took his Russian team in the opposite direction, heading for his beloved right-hand side, where they suspected a lift might be lurking, and it was. With Team Origin opting not to cover, Synergy slid ahead in a huge split across the course. By the bottom mark gate, the Russians had established a big lead, and the Brits were left kicking themselves, Ainslie unable to claw anything back. Once again, the overachieving Russian team had punched way above their weight, third place far beyond their initial wildest dreams.